This podcast may contain adult themes.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only.
The views and opinions in this podcast are expressly our own.
Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
Is it okay if I kick your boss's ass? That won't affect your workplace chemistry, will it?
All right, who did this? I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
When I get to the workplace, I like to fuck shit up.
Welcome to Let's Break Up, Toxic Workplace Stories, hosted by me, Nicola.
And me, Gina, both with many years working in corporate roles. Come along as we interview some awesome guests from around the world about their experiences with toxic workplaces.
Sharing lessons learned and providing safe, supportive place to share their stories with those who might be experiencing similar situations.
Each week, we will provide tips and ways to identify some of the challenges associated with toxic workplaces.
In today's episode...
All right. Hi, Nicola. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm actually exhausted this morning. I just want to point that out.
Okay.
I also haven't brushed my hair or showered.
That's okay.
And I'm also not wearing pants.
That's okay. That's the point of Zoom. That you don't have to wear pants.
You will never know.
We're good. No one will ever know, but now they do because you just announced it.
Unless I stand up.
Don't stand up. All right. So it's like crack of dawn early for you, Nicola.
Yes, crack of dawn early for me. Feeling miserable.
I'm sorry. Where's Quinn to make your coffee?
He's still sleeping.
Ridiculous.
What time is it there?
6 a.m.
Okay. So are you ahead of us? You are? Or behind us?
It's tomorrow. We're in the future. It's super cool.
Okay.
I've checked the future. It's looking pretty cool today. So, good opportunity to prepare for tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I was asking about you. How are you?
Me? I'm good. I was like super, super productive yesterday. So I feel really good because Nicola and I did we did like an interview and then we did a follow-up episode. We just were like on top of our shit. And then your day went to hell and my day was continually productive. So that was good. I'm super excited to hear this story. And Yes. And this is my friend Joelle, who is going to be talking about her toxic workplace experience. And Joelle, why don't you tell us a little bit about the industry you're working in, how you found yourself working there? What was the circumstances under which you took that job? Give us a little background.
So, yeah, of course. So thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk about this. How I got involved in my toxic work environment was I was a college student at the time, and we were taking a walk down this popular area in downtown West Palm, and there was a nightclub that was right there, and one of the managers just grabbed me and was like, "Hey, do you want a job?" And I said, "Yeah." And that's how it started. And then it began probably a good 20-year spiral down the rabbit hole of the nightlife.
So you were in the nightlife industry for a good 20 years total. I
would say from 19 to 36, 35, mid-30s.
All right, so that's a nice chunk of time. You took the job because, like, what? Who wouldn't? You're a college student.
You want money.
I took the
Every
job.
college student wants money.
But the funny thing was I was at a private Christian school, so I had to lie and hide it from the school because I could get kicked out.
Okay, so let's talk about what was your first red flag.
The fact that we were supposed to hide it from the school was a red flag, but you don't realize it at the time. It's you got to drink with the people. You're put on a stage, and it's a show, and it's live your best life, and things got crazy at times, but during the hours we were open, and especially after the hours we were open too. So it was a free for all.
So can you give us some specifics on some of like the worst experiences you had?
We were programmed to see the wife on one day, the girlfriend the next day. Valentine's Day we always laugh about it because February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, is the day that the guys bring out the girlfriends. And then the Valentine's Day, they come in with their wives.
That's hilarious. Guess who's not going out on either night? Wife or girlfriend? Me.
Guess who's also not going out on either night?
Also you? Okay. Anyway, so Joelle, can you tell us something that affected you, like specifically, like you personally? Would you be willing to share something like that?
Yeah. What affected me personally? Going off of exactly what I said, I put all men being cheaters. I actually thought that it was normal for men to have both a girlfriend and a wife. So it really brought down my values, and it really brought down my standards of what men and husbands are supposed to do. You know, we had cops that were, you know, on site, on the outside at all the locations, whatever, just to man it. And I remember this one specific time, I had one of the cops come in and was like, hey, just let you know, your boyfriend's in the car, your car, by the way, doing something with another girl. What do you want me to do? And I was like, nothing. You don't do anything. And he's like, are you sure? Yes. Then I had I forgot about this one. Speaking of the same person, we had a huge staff meeting, right? At the end of the staff meeting, they're like, Joelle, we need to talk to you. They all sat me down. There was, I don't know, a group of them, 10 of them. Yeah, just to let you know, while you were away, your boyfriend was in here with another girl and hookers. And then they went back to your apartment and were at your apartment together. And I just had to brush it off. Like, no big deal.
Really? I don't think I would
How is
not
this
be
a
okay
brush
with that.
offable offense?
Yeah. I mean, of course I was impacted and I was hurt. And then, you know, when you confront it, they're all just BSing you. Wasn't like that. Okay.
All right. So can you tell us anything about like your managers or the establishment owners that you were like, that you like started to realize like, this is fucked up. I shouldn't be here. Like no one should be here.
Yeah. So I think especially in the beginning days, I have to be cautious of what I say. Lots of the managers and slash owner or slash owners that definitely were hooking up with staff or other people without a doubt, especially owners. And just the things that they would allow and they would tolerate too. And like, we used to not have as many cameras. And then as time went on and lawsuits happened and things like that, more cameras came into place.
Right.
But you know, it was a free for all. Like back in the day when it first started and it first opened, they were just hooking up with whoever. And then they used to have, I wasn't a part of it because it was a little before me, but topless checkouts. So,
Sorry,
you know, you
wait,
check
what
out.
does it?
Yeah. What does that mean?
So,
Yeah, what is that?
It doesn't mean exactly what it sounds like, or does it mean something else?
So some of the girls, like, yeah, when you do your checkout at the end of the night, like you was topless. The impact, and I don't know if some have realized it or not, or I think that they do, but the it has long lasting impact on you. Like I think like these girls have lessened, I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Their viewpoint on themselves and how relationships look like.
Everyone was objectified. The owners, the managers, they all objectified you.
Let me say this real quick. Some of us, and it's not something to laugh about, but we do laugh about it. But like, because we were very close to the where Jeffrey Epstein used to live, and we laugh because we're like, how do we not get impacted by Jeffrey Epstein because we were across the way and they had to have come in there. We were right there. And it's almost like a smaller version of like the Playboy Mansion with the owners being Hugh Hefner and on a smaller scale, not to the extreme where, you know, with the Playmates, they were just there for one reason. And it was the same thing where there was a couple owners that, you know, they think they're Hugh and that they can have whatever girl, and they could because they're the owners.
So do you think... Side note, do you think Jeffrey Epstein ever came in?
We talk about that, and we believe that they had to have.
They had to have, because I know, like, I happen to know the geography of what Joelle is talking about, and it's literally like there's a small bridge, and you're like right there by the Epstein Mansion doesn't exist anymore, but you know, so they had to have.
They had to have.
Or like,
I remember too. There was a couple that came in, and I remember this vividly, and I don't know who it was. I have no idea who it was, but I remember this, and we actually kicked them out because what they were trying to do was get the girls to come back with.
Was it like swinging or something?
We had swinging, but we had one swinging. I worked 2 swinging parties in my whole
I'm
life,
sorry,
and they
what?
were very odd. Okay, so there was something about that couple, and there was something off about it, and we actually asked them to leave. So anyhow, but the swinging party, I worked one swinging party at a different club once, and I was like, oof, this is just dirty, very dirty.
Question about the swinging party. Was the majority of the people who showed up like unattractive? Because in
I don't
my
remember.
mind, because
No.
in my mind, like swinging or orgies, like you think it's gonna be like a great time, and then you get there and it's like all like disgusting human beings.
I don't think it was like that. I think they were like normal people. They were normal, but you could feel like as the night, like the drinks got happening, you felt them like they were predators. They were predators, and they were just normal predators.
Yeah, just normal predators, not abnormal predators. I love that. This is wild. So you're like, it's almost like you're borderline like working in the sex trade.
Yeah, basically, like basically,
Without like
you're
you
selling.
performing the act or selling the act, you're like servicing people who are doing that.
Yeah, we were definitely made to feel like that was normal. And then as time went on, I just knew deep inside that something wasn't right.
Well, I'm curious to know. So at this point, you'd been in this for 10 years?
At that point, I was probably a little over 10 years.
A little over.
And then
So
it
you're
was
like
probably
winding it up.
No, this may sound like a mean question, but
No,
is there like an expiry date on hot
You would think
college
so.
chicks?
Well, yeah,
Well-
their ageism does exist in that kind of industry.
Because
for
I'm
sure.
like, okay, so you're a hot college babe. Now we're just over 10 years. So we're like in our 30s at this point.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
early 30s, late 20s, right? And I'm like,
Yep.
if I think back to when I was that age, I'm like, fuck, I was expired. There was no way I was clubbing at that point. Fuck me.
You're right. So in this particular establishment, most of us were in our, I would say, early 30s. You're pushing at your mid 30s. But I would say 30 is like they wanted the older type a little, not the young college. They wanted the young woman. Let me back you up right there real quick. They make you think that this world is so cool and this is the best place to work in and this is it, and that you are the it person because you work in the it place. And then I realized it's not. And in that one establishment that I was at for many years, they're very good at this is family. They suck you in a way where
Oh no.
you just think
no, we're like,
they
oh, here we go.
They swallow you whole to make you think that you're living this glorious. We're partying with, celebrities. We're partying with the best of the best. I was around 33ish. I started making an exit strategy plan. And then probably 35, 36, I was out. And the funny thing was my husband, who's my husband now, 3 years prior to me getting out, he came in and he wanted to date me. And I knew what a great man he was. And you know what a great man he is. Mm-hmm. And I said, I can't, because I knew what a quality he was and I wasn't at the time. And I needed to get myself in the right mind frame because I was coming out and I knew that I needed to go back up again. So I had to get myself together. And ironically, we reconnected and then we were together from that point on.
What was your exit strategy? Did you have one?
Yeah, I did. I got my real estate license. I had some money that I knew was live on as I'm building my career. And so I got my license. I started doing that. And then I stopped managing. The goal was stop managing because I managed and then bartended one night because the bartending was a lot of money. So I said, I'm no longer managing. I want to bartend 3 nights a week so I can focus on my career. So I would work all night long and get up and do my day thing. And then I went down to 2 nights and then I went down to 1 night. And it was a year before it was Easter time. And that Easter, I said, I have 1 year to get myself completely out. And I took that year. And then the Palm Sunday, the Saturday before Palm Sunday, I said, this will be my last shift and I'm done after that. And
like, would you have done anything differently?
Yeah. So one of the things that's so true is if you tell me who your closest friends are, I'll tell you what your future is. Right. So the people that I surrounded myself with back then, because I had 2 worlds. So I had the world of my college crew, and then I had a second group of friends, which drived the nightlife. And I probably would have stayed away from that. And not going to talk crap because, you know, it did serve its purpose. I'm hard on myself about those times. I did have a fun time, but there was no value in it. And it's almost like I laugh because it's almost embarrassing now. Cause like, I would never want my daughter to really know that lifestyle. Like I would never want her to do that. So it's almost embarrassing, but like I learned my lessons from it and it makes me a stronger person from it.
So this one family, how did they like suck you in and like swallow you whole? Can you explain that? Like, I think I know what you mean, but I kind of want to know a little bit more.
Because you do everything together. So you're spending 12-hour shifts together. Then on your off nights, you're doing things together. You're going to the gyms together. You're drinking together. You're partying together. You're texting together. During the day, you have issues that you guys got to solve together if you're managing together. Every part of your day, you're with these people.
So there's like no boundaries.
I
Like,
wonder
you
if
don't
there's
have
no
a work-life balance.
not to make this about us, you know, but I wonder if that's that family environment that we were sucked into, where we were so busy all day with these people and all the time, and then it was, you know,
There was no off time.
there was no off time, and then you're just in that mindset the entire time.
Yeah,
And it seems
and that's
normal.
exactly what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm so lucky because I actually like the people that I work with. The weird thing is there was a certain crew of us that got to do whatever we wanted. So the longer you stayed, the more you proved yourself, the more privileges you had, and we ran the show. So it's not like, who are we going to get in trouble with? I'm just going to call the owner myself and I'll deal with it. Like the managers knew that certain bartenders you can't touch, they're untouchable, and I'm untouchable. I was one of those. So what is one of the managers gonna go tell on us? Okay, I'll call the owner myself, don't worry about it, you'll be fine. Like,
well,
I feel like you're not earning like $1 million kajillion doing this. So what is like the pool?
I feel like you probably are.
Is it tips? Because I know in America, like you only really get tips, you're not even paid like a normal wage.
well, yeah, you're not paid anything on a hourly scale. It didn't matter. But like when we bartended, like when we first opened, like you were making $1,000 a night. So my sister sends me a photo of when my niece was being baptized. She's 14. So this was 14 years ago. And I got, these are different boobs on me right now. But
these are new boobs. These are new boobs. But,
yeah. So I first
Did
got
the
my
other
old
ones
boobs
expire?
done. They were ginormous. And they were freshly done. And I did it basically the day that my niece was born. So fast forward to 2 months later, it's her baptismal. I go home to New York, and my brother, who is 10 years younger than me, I come downstairs to go to our family function, and he yells at me and is like, you need to go put on a scarf around your body. You cannot go in public with these boobs. This is absolutely embarrassing. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is great. And he's like, no. And he's screaming at me and he's yelling at me. So I said, fine. So I put on this scarf. Totally forgot about the situation until the other day when my sister sends me a photo and goes, look at this picture of you guys at the baby's christening. And I was like, oh my God. And that's when I remembered it. And she's like, why do you have this huge scarf on? And I was like, because Joseph made me put it on because he was embarrassed by my boobs. And we were dying laughing because he made me really cover up.
And so like it looked like the priests, like what are the things that they like when you're Catholic?
Yeah.
I mean, I am a Catholic, but what are the things that put around their neck?
Yeah, those white coverings. You know when you
there's a name for it, and I don't
remember.
Okay, hold on. I'll
Google
Google it right now. I'm Googling
Please,
it right
Google
now.
it.
Okay. I'm gonna go the big scarf that
Catholic priests wear. What is it?
Oh, okay. It's got a couple of names, but
Let's
it's
hear 'em.
called a stole or an ecclesiastical vest.
Ecclesiastical vest. That's what it is. So that's what it looked like. Like it looked like she had like, because it was this white thing, and I was like, why are you dressed like a choir chick? But it was just to disguise the ginormity of her tits.
But then I somehow ended up, and I don't know, I just ended up at a private Christian college when I went to college, not understanding what I got myself into. So that's really what started
like
to
most of my life, not understanding what I got myself into.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
So that always was in my background.
Right.
because my every part of schooling was about, they somehow put God into every class, and so I didn't really appreciate it until afterwards.
Can we just pause here for a second and remind people that if this podcast is something you enjoy, we would love to hear from you.
You can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Let's Break Up Toxic Workplace Stories.
Sharing and subscribing really helps us feel validated.
So it sounds like even though it was kind of like shitty during the time, something good came out of it. Like it let you,
Yeah.
you know, your support system, which is for you, it's your faith, like that became stronger. And
Yep.
you kind of, it also, you knew you wanted more, so you did something about it. And not everyone can do that, because I feel like sometimes in workplaces that are like, so it's like insidious like that, it's like in every area of your life, it's really hard to like extract yourself from that. And I think Nicola probably can identify with that better than I could, because I was like out after 4 months. I was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. Yeah, but like Nicola was really like ingrained in it, like deep.
Yeah. Don't you have to deprogram yourself as well? Like you have to deprogram yourself from what you thought was okay, and you got to go through a period of deprogramming so that you can realign yourself better. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Yes.
I totally know what you mean, because I was so depressed coming out of my toxic workplace, because it was, you know, I've said before, it was my entire identity.
Yes, that's exactly
personal life and professional life.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly it. It becomes your identity.
Yeah, and I think like for Nicola, because I was like, I knew her through that time. She was in like a deep depression, but then once I left and I reached back out to her, I think you were starting to kind of come out of it on your own. But then I think having the conversation with me about like me being like, was that place not totally fucked up? And her like the solidarity there, and we're like, yeah, it was really fucked up, like together. Did that happen with you? Did any of your friends who worked there at one point, you know, have you guys spoke about it?
Yeah, my one girlfriend who I'm very, very close with, she we've been on this journey together. We've dissected it together and had a deprogram. There's a couple other girls that are still kind of processing things. She actually ended up marrying me and my husband, because I wanted somebody.
She was the officiant. Okay. Yeah.
Yep, and I wanted somebody that we knew.
I picked up on that story. I was like, oh, she married you and your husband. Clearly this swingers thing has followed through, babe.
No. We had her go and get her whatever it's called. And
they get ordained, right? To be like,
Yep. She got ordained because I needed somebody because I got married in a Catholic church initially, and I couldn't tell you who that priest was if he was sitting next to me. So I wanted somebody that could hold us accountable, that was, you know, had the same faith as us, and can say, hey, you know, add some value to it. So
is there anything like really like over the top wild that ever happened? Because
there was this one time where so my one girlfriend, she was really, really great at selling champagne. And she had this one client that he had his girlfriend and he had his wife, and he was coming in for a good, I don't know, a couple weeks. And there was these two guys, and he was one of them, where they didn't know each other at first, but they would compete because this guy's getting a lot of attention because he's spending, I don't know, whatever it is, 10, 15, 20 grand a night. And the bottles of champagnes are coming out. Well, the other guy, who's also wealthy, sees it, and now he wants to be on the same playing ground as he is. So they were compete back and forth to each other. Anyhow, so it was a good, I don't know, weeks of him coming in and out, right? And it got to the point, and she was friends with him. And it got to the point where we had FBI come in on us and bring her in the back, because of all the shadiness that is associated with him. And she had, like, I don't know if it was FBI or whatever, it was a big thing. And they came in, took her in the back, asked her a series of questions. Was he like
embezzling money or something?
I don't know, but long story short, he went to prison for many, many years after that. And I don't know if he's still in prison or not. But, you know, we had the cameras to show all of it too. And it was like crazy because, you know, not only is he spending money, because we were not allowed, like it was supposed to be, you know, you had one bottle of champagne. If somebody orders a bottle of champagne, you have to get it from the back. It's in the locks. thing. It's the most expensive bottle. Well, we had like 10 of them out throughout behind the bar because he would order so many at a time that we needed to be able to give it to him immediately. And, but then, you know, he would have thousands of dollars of singles and throw them in the air. So our bar was always filled of, when you think about it, it's just so toxic. It's not okay to have money thrown on you. You know, it's not okay to have money thrown over your head. It's just not okay because, you know, what's the love in that?
I don't mind someone throwing money on my head just as long as they're $100 bills. I know what you mean, Joelle. But I think you probably had a different, like, you know, like it was just the whole environment. Like if someone just came over to me right now and poured like a bucket of $100 bills over my head, I'd be like,
there for
what
it.
the hell? Okay, I'm into
if
this.
someone's sporadic, you're like, yes, okay, that's great. But when you're, you know, when you feel
objectified all the time, and then there's like singles being thrown, I think that's it. Like, because I'm like, speak for yourself. Someone should throw money right in my face right now.
No, you
to be honest, I'm so single. Like if you were to drop some balls in my face attached to $100 bills, I'm there for it. If that's what we need to do today.
Nicola always takes it to the next level. That's what
she always does. She does.
Yeah, one of
I'm the toxic workplace colleague.
Honestly, when we worked together, you were. But then you left, and then I was the toxic workplace colleague. I took your place, so don't worry about it. Yeah.
And do you think that it's toxic, or do you think I'm just exaggerating? I think from a toxicity perspective, I think the fact that you're recruiting in people off the street, you have that deep set family thinking, or that you can't be outside of the group because you're doing everything together all of the time. I think
I say cult.
Yeah, okay, we could say cult.
Yeah,
it's their own form of cult, right? And then you've also got this really you know, notoriously toxic working environment around, you know, not specifically sex work, but you know, you're being objectified consistently, and it's changing your perspective, rerouting the way that you see relationships, and you see the way that you perceive
supposed to be loved.
The way you perceive affection, where it's now just glorified and it's this objectified focus, you know, like, you know, you thought it was okay to pitch up at the, you know, baby's thing with your tits hanging out. Hey ho!
How embarrassing! Now I look back and I'm like, oh my god.
Exactly, but for you, in your mind, you were totally fine. You were like, what are you talking about? But it's that brainwashing, right? It's that level of like, you just don't see it until you're away from it and you have better perspective.
Yes, I do feel like there's a lot of young girls, or girls in general, that are in that environment that don't really see how toxic it is and how much there's really more to life than that. So sharing the stories like this, I think, help people kind of just say, I'm not alone in that. Yeah, I guess that is toxic.
Yeah,
that's solidarity.
And that's why we're doing it.
A lot of times people just need community. So they accept the toxicity because they want the community of having people around them.
The connection.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of like the human condition to want to feel like accepted and loved and all that. But why do we go to a workplace to do that? You know?
Because that's where we spend the majority of our time.
For me, I'm like, would I be friends with this person outside of work?
I won't get out the fact that you now have admitted that you just hate me. It's fine.
I didn't say anything about you.
You heard it too, didn't you, Joelle?
When we were working together. Oh yeah, I was like this battle axe. I was like, I can't.
I'll take a battle axe because that bitch is beast.
Oh my god, yeah. Anyway. All right.
Yeah, hi. This is my early morning, Nicola. You should see my afternoon, Nicola.
All right. Well, Joelle, thank you so much for sharing your story. And
but anyway, we thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Awesome.
It was meeting you.
Thanks.
All right,
Joelle.
thanks so much for having me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
What is going on here?
What do you mean?
Like, how is this picking up so much pace? Like, how is this trajectory like so insane?
I'm telling you, I had a great idea.
Yeah,
I had a good idea.
The charismatic leader.
No, yes, between the two of us. I'm the charismatic leader and you're the battle axe. And now we have a podcast and everyone will start drinking our Kool-Aid.
Please drink our Kool-Aid.
No one should drink Kool-Aid ever. Maybe
Unless it's
you're at a
ours.
picnic. Unless you're at a picnic and the Kool-Aid's really good, but I'm not a huge fan of Kool-Aid. It's
Actually, you know what? It's too sweet, and I also don't like Powerade.
I don't really
Like
drink any of that
Gatorade,
stuff.
like
Yeah, I
Gatorade or
don't-
whatever. It's not really my vibe. I drink water, and I'm happy. Thanks. Water's
Me too.
delicious.
And like if I want like flavor in my water, I get one of those like 0-calorie like flavor things and I just squeeze it in and I make like lemonade and it tastes delicious.
Okay, that
I
sounds
know.
disgusting. I would
It's
be
really not,
happy,
though.
like if I need flavor in my life, it's wine, firstly. And then if I need more flavor in my life, then I usually have one of those fizzies that like the vitamin fizzies, and then I'll just put it in like half a water.
Ew.
Like those vitamin fizzies are delish.
I
And
don't
you're
think
getting
like,
vitamins.
I know, but I still don't think it's I don't know. I don't think they're delish. I wouldn't go that far.
It's all right. Maybe you're just having gross ones in your life. Like you
We
don't-
might well in America we have like emergency.
Ew, I had that while I was in America, and that was Grotzo's because I
See?
assumed it was going to be delicious fizzies, and then I was like, ew, this is got like a funny aftertaste. Like, ew.
Yeah,
America,
it's not great.
America
It's not
is not all it's cracked up to be. We're so
It's not,
amazing.
especially-
We're so special in America. Everything's amazing, and everything is not amazing in America. Your
No.
milk is disgusting.
Wait, our what? Our milk?
Yeah,
Wait, this is the first time I'm hearing that.
your milk is disgusting. It is absolutely foul.
Why does it taste different than New Zealand milk?
Because our milk is because we love our cows.
Okay. Is it pasteurized, your milk?
You can get unpasteurized, but yes, most of it's pasteurized.
Okay, because I'm trying to think like what is actually the difference? Like maybe
Okay, so what I found in America is all of your milk is like 2%. Like your standard milk is 2% milk. You go to the supermarket and it's like just rows of 2% milk. All our milk is full cream milk. All of it.
well, so it's just like it's full fat milk. Like
It's full fat milk. It's not half and half, and it's not cream. It's just full fat milk.
full-
And it's
so my
but it's like
that's what my
standard.
daughter drinks, and it's a lot creamier and thicker.
And just like milkier, because what you've done
Yes.
is you've essentially just put water in your milk.
You're just watering down the milk for like 2%. Yeah.
It's
So
gross. That's
so
not
you
what milk
probably-
tastes like.
you probably just needed to find the full.
I ended
like
up
the
when I
non-fat
was there, I ended up having to get half and half because that was as close to New Zealand milk as I could get. The other thing that is absolutely rancid is eggs. Your eggs are rancid.
Okay,
They
I don't
taste like ass.
I don't like eggs, so I don't eat them. Like if they're in a baked good or something where I'm not actually eating an egg, fine, that's fine. But like like an egg or a scrambled egg, I will not eat that. Absolutely disgusting. Makes me want to hurl.
I'm allergic to eggs, but I still eat them, and then that is not a fun time for me.
So don't eat them.
But I kind of like egg. I love an omelet. I love an omelet.
I love an egg white omelet.
I will just take an omelet. But they do not work for me. And then I have explosive diarrhea.
Gross, but also hilarious.
It's like a colon cleanse, really. It's a
Yeah.
colon cleanse.
That's exactly what it sounds like. That's so fucking funny. Bye.
All right. Speak to you later. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to share your story, we would love to hear from you.
Also, leaving a review helps us create more content because it shows us there's an interest in this topic.
For those of our listeners who do better with reading, we have closed caption available on YouTube.
See you next week, same time and same place.